Alrighty. Hello there. This is the walkthrough video for Monday. It is the 13th of September in try one week 7. It's a new week, so new bell work. What kinds of heads and tails? I'm thinking about charge, and I will tell you there are several different sets of words you could use. And if you want to make a note of those several different sets of words, that would be great also. Today, we're thinking about how the structure of cell membranes gives, oh my goodness, Dr. Milk, subject verb. How does structure give rise? How does the structure give rise to selective probability? How does structure give rise? I don't know. I don't know anymore. Good morning. I'm going to be better equipped by the time I see you later today. This feature helps cells regulate matter flow in and out, which is an absolutely critical feature for life. A bombshell of news just broke. Maybe you've seen it about our search for life in real life. So I'll share that with you. As well as a quick note about compartmentalization that I want to make sure you understand as we're learning about the importance of membranes. We're going to talk about the weed wrangle, our launch to Unit 3, our ecology service learning trip. This is a really unique opportunity. Most high schools don't get to do this. I'm really excited that we get to. And then we're going to work through the membrane function POGL. The focus for this part of our learning is really thinking about interpreting pictures and diagrams and building understandings from them. So that's what we're practicing today. So a note about compartmentalization, this made by my very dear friend, Lee Ferguson. So the thing about compartmentalization is that you can use cell membranes not just for overall the plasma membrane of the cell, but you also can use them so that you can do specific chemistry that otherwise would be competing in the cytoplasm. So like, for example, let's say that you are trying to make A into B here, and you're trying to make C into D because you need D for whatever it is you're going to be doing. If they were all just floating around, that means that some of your D would then become B. So this idea about helping reactions not like cross-react with each other, have the products accidentally become the reactants of another one, is really important. But also, from Smithsonian Magazine, reported in the New York Times, the Washington Post, NASA has discovered the clearest sign yet that ancient life on Mars and a rock that's been studied by the Perseverance rover. So minerals in the rock might have been produced by microbes and chemical reactions, but they're going to need, there they are. So there are those little circles are the interesting part. I am so excited about this. The current federal budget has cut the program that would have allowed this rock to head back up and back to Earth for further chemical analysis. The European Space Agency is working on a similar catch. It's really like this thing that we're doing in class is like really close to what's happening in the real world. So I linked the Smithsonian Magazine. I think it's the best example I've seen that does the reporting from all the different ideas. So that's there for you if you want to see it. All right. So I want to tell you about the weed wrangle. You should know by now that I love teaching. I love Bloomington High School South. I love being in this building. But also, like, what if we were not in the building for a day? What if instead we went to a beloved Bloomington ecosystem, a forest ecosystem, and spent some time taking care of it in a really meaningful way? That's what the weed wrangle aims to do. Look at these clouds. That's what the weed wrangle aims to do. So in this adventure, which I'll tell you more about in a moment, we are going to get to explore a little bit of Cascades Park. We are also going to be learning from the Bloomington Parks and Recreation folks who do forest and ecosystem management. So you can see here, we're going to do some studies of leaves. You might do some leaf rubbings, depending on what you're up to. These folks are taking some notes about different leaf types. Part of what we're going to help you think about is how real-life ecologists do identification of different plant species in the wild so that they can then count how many there are. We're then going to go control an invasive in a safe environment. This is on a hill that you might recognize, kind of feeding down into that little stream. And we are going to pick absolutely tremendous amounts some years of this material, and some years a little less. That's good, actually. It means that every year when we go back to this hill and we do this invasive species control, we are making it so that we are increasing the plant diversity that's on the hill. So this is last year's class. You can tell we've moved the trip a little like later in the fall. You can tell the leaves are different colors. And also, a lot of the ground plants that grow in the spring are not visible here. But the whole reason they're able to grow in the spring is because our particular class of AP biology students, year after year after year, comes back and does this. Some people get really into weed wrangles. They end up doing them for their National Honor Society outside hours. Some people even internship with the city. That's great. But everybody in AP Bio should have an experience, I think, where they end up really doing some service learning. And also, I love it here, but what if we weren't here? So let me give you the details on this really quickly. It's free to students. You can bring lunch or you can get a school adventure lunch for the regular lunch price. Typically, that's like a PB&J or turkey and cheese club sandwich with like mayonnaise and mustard if you choose it, like little packets. The day is Monday, October 6th, 2024. We're going to leave school in the middle of second period. We're returning to school at the end of fifth period. If you go to IU or you intern, you have a couple choices. So you can arrange transport, or you can tell your professor or supervisor that this field trip is required and that you are going to have to make up the class that you are missing. I'd be happy to write you a formal letter of excuse if there's an attendance component for your course. Maybe that doesn't work for you. Maybe something really big is going on in your internship. I would strongly suggest, I'm going to sneeze maybe. uh, uh. I'd suggest coming with us if you can, because the alternate assignment about ecosystems and ecosystems management can feel extensive to people. And I am not going to show it to you until after we've done the weed wrangle, because I'd like to support you being able to come. It is a different assignment from the one last year. So more details soon, but it's going to be great. It is a perfect launch to our unit, like our project 2, which is thinking about how we can use what we know about ecosystems and energy in ecosystems to be able to impact change and to be able to restore, mitigate, and be responsive to like dangerous changes in ecosystems. So we're still thinking about cell membranes in our course. And today, indeed, we went through the POGL for cell membrane structure. I have to think about, please hold, sorry. I'm sorry. I have to think about which ones they are now. They are membrane permeability is one of the ones. So it's 2.4. Yes. So 2.4 is one of the ones that we're doing today. There they go. They're going to get themselves there. And we're also doing 2.5 in class. And we're thinking about lots of the contents of 2.6. So if you weren't here today, no big deal, although you may want to take a look at the assignment just so that you have a sense of what we've been up to in class. All right, escape. And then you've got a cool down for today, and it's this, a little blast from the past for you, because you're going to be able to start asking and be answering increasingly complex ideas. All right, that's it for me. I hope you're doing well out there. We will see you soon. Take care.